All right, guys. Whew, today is a good day, man. The best faction in the game got an ancestor, and honestly, dude, I'm so happy with how he turned out. He's really powerful. He looks insane. Like he has really just one issue for me, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, overall, I'm super happy. Actually, sorry, two issues, but yeah, overall, I'm super happy with him. So his design, obviously, is straight peak. Unawakened, he looks very cool. Really not what I was expecting. But when he's awakened, oh my god, he looks so insane. We all know that that's not really that important, but this is definitely my new favorite ancestor. I love him so much. He's probably one of the coolest monsters in the game. Like, not even as an opinion, like, objectively, he's one of the coolest monsters in the game. Despite his really dumb name, Nebotus Evil Lord is really stupid. I could probably think of like 20 different names that sound way better than that, but it's whatever. Honestly, that's not super important to me. So, just getting into his utility, his trait is so beautiful. So, obviously, you have the umbrella trait and immune to blind. That's like basically an ancestor staple. Basically, every ancestor, it feels like, has at least one of those traits. A lot of the time, both of them. The status caster Pierce is amazing, and anticipation obviously is amazing. My only issue with the Pierce is he has no way of reapplying it. So if you happen to get hit with Sandstorm, either from Adelaide or from this beautiful relic right here, you could actually be kind of screwed. So I think that relic will actually become really relevant once people get their hands on it. Obviously, no one's able to get it at the moment, but yeah, in the next month, people will have it, and I think people that do have it will actually be able to get some use out of their Megataunt because right now, like, Megataunt is pretty mid. Nebotus kind of just makes Megataunt, like, not that usable, specifically for multiplayer. Obviously, Megataunt is going to be great in Wars always, but yeah, his trait is really incredible. The only real issue is, yeah, obviously, the Status Caster Pierce can be blocked by something like Nanovirus or Sandstorm, and also he can't reapply it with his skills. So getting into his skills, he's very powerful. He feels like he counters a lot of monsters. He feels really versatile. And I think this monster is going to age really well because of that. Like some of his more niche kind of haters, like Artifact Hater. Do we have a ton of really good artifact monsters in the game right now? Not really. Like Artifact was good during Historia. It's not that crazy right now. Maybe next era we're going to see a really good artifact monster that this skill specifically is going to be really good at taking down, right? Like some of these haters are potentially going to be really useful in the future. Star Sailor's hater probably will never be useful because, like, what good monsters are in the Star Sailors book? Like Mecha Duck, and that's it. Or at least that's all I can think of. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that. I might be forgetting someone. But yeah, his skills are very powerful. So he's got a lot of hater effects. I'm a big fan of this skill. I am actually running him with Dam, so the anticipation hater isn't 100% like necessary, but it is nice to have. It does make him a little bit more versatile. Anticipation hater is really good still because it counters so many meta monsters. And having access to such a powerful extra turn skill that removes evasion too, which is really important right now because of Honen's relevancy. This skill is really nice. A lot of the other ones are super powerful as well. You can get some very high damage with these two just as a really solid AoE. Like I'm getting very consistent one-shots with both of these. And this skill is great for if you use it to take down one enemy and then next turn you want to take down Adelaide, it's always a one-shot. As for his other skills, there's some really great skills in here. I think a lot of these are more situational. It just depends on what the meta calls for. I think this Bleed Hater, if you're pairing him up with like a monster that has maybe a Shadow Venus Essence or something, this skill could be nice. A few of these other ones could be solid to swap on. I'm not sure how he's going to perform in bounty hunts, but I think for specific bounty hunts, he's going to be really good. This skill right here could be very powerful for bounty hunts. I think this one, if he is used for bounty hunts, this is going to be a must-have for sure. But I guess only time will tell. I am very interested to see, though, if both him and Honan kind of have like a nice pairing and end up kind of taking over the bounty hunts. Like, especially if the fugitive hater is an attacker, it'll be really weird to see if Nebotus can kind of like overtake him. I'm not really sure on if that's going to happen or not, but it'll be fun to at least see. And then if the fugitive hater does happen to be supporter, you can pair him up with Honan and Nebotus. That could be pretty crazy. But again, Nebotus isn't necessarily like an all-around perfect ideal pick. I think he will be a little bit situational still. So as for his awakening, 10 hater effects, at first I thought that would be kind of garbage, but he is awakening very fast. So that's going to bring me into my next point, which is going to be the ideal team comp. And I believe that the current best team comp, and I actually did call this before he came out too, is going to be Honan, Nebotus, and Dam. So this allows him to awaken pretty quickly. It can keep him alive with torture removal, negative status effect removal, and obviously Honan is just an insane monster. Like, you can throw him in any team and he's going to perform well. So I do believe this is the current best comp. But just going back to his awakening real quick, so 10 hater effects, not too bad depending on the right team composition. So in multiplayer, pretty easy, but in wars, that can be a really tricky awakening condition. I think it's going to be harder to awaken him in wars unless you get really lucky with maybe having access to like Red Eye or Byron Mint, Jock, monsters like that can actually apply hater effects. I think if you don't get lucky with the restricts and have access to monsters like that, then he might not even awaken at all. But he does get some really nice virtues, so you can't complain about the triple damage on an attacker. That's awesome. And the skill mirror is nice, especially for reapplying those like area hater skills. They can actually double up and give you an extra hater, which is pretty nice. Now, getting into the first thing that I dislike about him, his relic slots. So, first of all, sword. Like, I get they give a sword to every attacker, but he doesn't even have a sword. Like, literally lore-wise, he does not have his sword because what's-his-face is holding his sword for him. Or, like, maybe not lore-wise, but, like, you know what I mean? One of his companions is literally holding his sword. He does not have his sword. So why does he have a sword relic? I don't know. He should 100% have an essence slot. I think that's kind of a no-brainer. And as for the secondary slot, I would say like maybe armor, trap, banner, one of those. Trap feels like it fits him, but like he's literally like he has a banner. So I think what they should have done is they should have given the League of Hunters banner to him and done a League of Hunters shield, or they could have given the shield to Torog and done like a Fiery Forces shield, and then Nebotus could get the armor. So what's gonna happen is he's gonna unfortunately get a Souls Lair shield. That could be good, that could be bad. I'm really hoping that it can regen stamina. If it can regen stamina, I will be super happy. And honestly, that will make up for it. But yeah, I'm just not too pleased about his relic slots because, yeah, like I said, he is not holding his sword. And as for the shield, he doesn't even have a shield at all. So this feels like kind of a last minute cop out. Like SP didn't really think about it enough as they were making the ancestral relics for the tier 7 chest. So it's whatever. It's not a huge deal. We might get a really good shield out of it because right now we're kind of lacking in the shield department. I'd say free range shield is probably the best bet for him. This is probably the ideal setup, but it's still kind of annoying. As for the other thing that I don't like, that's going to be his restrictions for wars. So special element doesn't even show up in wars at all. I understand why, because there's not really a lot of special element monsters that aren't just like legendaries. So I get that, but unfortunately that means he's not going to get used very much because he's missing out in 2 elements. So he's only going to be in Evil Legions, which is absolutely bloated with monsters, and good monsters at that, not just like alright monsters, very powerful monsters. And as for the winged book, honestly, he's going to be definitely the best pick for that book. So at least he's got one good restrict, and I get why he has the books that he has. Like, on just looking at him, well, obviously lore-wise he has to be Evil Legions, and looking at him he kind of needs to be in the winged book too. But part of me really wishes he was in like Underworld or Villains or some other book that actually needs some love, because Evil Legions is super bloated and Winged has a few good monsters in it, one of which is already like a just really powerful raw damage attacker that does do dark damage. So it just feels like in the book and element department we were kind of screwed for Nebotus, and it sucks because I really want to use him as much as possible because I really like this monster. And as for his companions too, honestly, they're both solid. I don't fully remember Idolator's skills actually, but I really like his design. His design is awesome. Decent trait. But Neoponte, this monster is insane. I think he's gonna be the best undead book monster once he comes out. So I think this Legend Pass monster is gonna be a must-have. Despite him being the last of the era, it feels kind of annoying because that monster is gonna get outdated in literally 2 weeks. This monster is so powerful. He has a super cracked out trait. He's in the Undead book, which isn't a very great book, so he really stands out. And he has some very powerful skills. So this monster specifically, I think is going to be a must-have. I low-key just remembered that like I literally do have this monster in my hatchery, and this is the one that I kind of forget his skills. So I'm just going to hatch him right now, and we can have a quick look together. This is the one whose design I really, really like just holding Nebotus' sword. That is so cool. I'm a huge fan of this monster design-wise. Okay. Okay, whoa, this monster is actually really good. Oh, nice. Okay. Actually, I do like this monster. What books was he in, though? Oof, Evil Legions and Wielders, yeah. As much as I like him, I will not be ruining him because I honestly am just not sure if I'm gonna use him. I will definitely be using Neoponte though. So yeah, keep an eye out for that Legend Pass in 2 weeks. I think that monster is gonna be essential. So just to sum it all up, honestly, this monster is insane. He's so cool. There's a few things that I don't love about him, but overall he's awesome and he's very, very powerful. I would probably put this as the second best monster in the game. I think, as I said earlier, Dam second, Honan first. It's still like kind of a matter of time. Like I don't really have that set in stone yet. But hopefully I can eventually get an Ancestor tier list done. Maybe I'll do it around the release of the next Ancestor, so maybe in the next month or so. But yeah, I'm super happy with this monster. He does have a few issues, but overall he's pretty insane, and I think this monster is going to be really essential too. Like if you've already got Honan, I think this monster is definitely the second best pick. So yeah, he's pretty insane. Anyways, guys, please do let me know in the comments what you do think of this monster. I would really love to hear everyone's opinions. And I really appreciate you guys for watching till the end of the video, and I will see you in the next one.